It's going to be the most expensive weapon that ever existed. Probably pretty garbage, but it's going to exist.
It wouldn't be the most expensive, not unless you enchanted it. Even a solid...
That's step 2. The only problem is I don't know where I'm going to get the money to enchant it after this.
By selling the sword that you make out of this?
Right.
No, I got to wield it, though.
Yeah,
well,
but
that's it. You have to make a new magical sword called the money sword that anybody that you kill, they die in a gout of gold coins.
Isn't that basically like if the hand of Midas was a sword? The sword of Midas?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be made out of gold, not platinum?
Well, I mean, you got to upgrade.
Upgrades, people, upgrades. Gold's not enough. We need them to bleed platinum.
Think about this logically.
Platinum is the new gold. I'm just saying.
Sell the platinum sword to someone to then enchant that platinum sword, which they then keep and then you steal later.
Or just kill them.
Or just kill
Thank
them.
you. Take the sword out of their hands and stab them with it.
It's like, here, I've got this sword. I will give it to you if you enchant it. And then they enchant it, and you're like, can I see it? And then you just stab them with it and take it.
Yes.
Hey, the sword works. I love it.
Can I test it out? Sure. Wow, you're right. It killed you in one hit. That's fantastic. I'll take it.
This thing's amazing.
I was just thinking more along the lines of like the communist era saying, which is we pretend to work and they pretend to pay us kind of a thing. But...
right?
Basically.
That sounds appropriate.
Anyway, we can get to it. We can go turn in this quest and see what they give us.
Yeah, so you guys go visit the people who had originally posted the rat burning. Well, I guess it wasn't too burned around.
It was a rat infestation.
Yeah. It turns out they tell you that, well, they don't have any money anymore because what little they have has to go towards buying a new house. They're rather upset with you over that.
Man, it's too bad that I'm not playing my new character. Because I'd be like, I don't see how this is our problem.
That sounds like a you problem.
That sounds very much like a you problem.
Asked for this job to get done. We did the job. You did.
Right. Here's the money.
Terms, yeah. Right, well,
I didn't think about this one. What are we gonna do with that lot of money?
I suppose we just have to press on then. Job's done. It's good, right? We're helping the town. Job's done.
Job's done.
So,
well, work.
Yeah, that's correct. I guess that's it. It didn't cost us too much, I don't think, did it?
Well, yeah. I don't know. Did this cost us anything? This job?
Mayfo bought some stuff for it, but I don't think it was too much. Fixing the house costs a lot more. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he paid like 10 gold or something like that for it. Supplies.
I feel like the people here just want someone to help them, but not necessarily desiring to pay someone to help them.
Oh, probably not.
What would be the point of that? How would anyone make any money here if they're offering services? It seems rather confusing. But I suppose in a town that has most of its constituents being for the hills, it makes sense, I guess.
I suppose it makes sense if they were about to get run over by an army of rats. They might not have a whole lot.
Indeed. I suppose the vermintide must be stifled by someone, eh?
I still feel the biggest value is just being able to help others.
That's the spirit.
Indeed. I'd say so. What else have we in town that we must accomplish?
Well, that's the other thing, is we should definitely check to see if there's anything else. Aside from the little old lady that we needed to speak with.
Oh, but of course.
Didn't we originally come to this town to get the Schwinga in?
We already did that. We turned that in.
What was the outcome of that engagement?
We gave her the Schwinga and she paid us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pretty
they didn't
much.
tell us what they were going to do with it or anything?
She said something about sexual experiments.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
She said something about using a wand.
Telling me is you gave up Baby Yoda. No reason.
Well, for money, of course.
For money.
Hey, man, it was a bounty.
Really living out the no morals fucking Mandalorian story.
There was a discussion about making sure that they wouldn't mistreat the Schwinga and all that. Or that she wouldn't mistreat him. Before...
You got the
that
impression that he's probably in good hands.
Yeah,
Probably.
from what was there, probably. Wait,
Probably.
probably. Hold on.
Probably.
Pulls out scimitar. I have a feeling.
All right, then. Sorry. Moving on. Yes, we should go talk to the old lady because she was asking just for someone to come keep her company, right?
Yes.
All right. So you guys trudge across town to the old lady's small house.
Before we walk in, I'm gonna shapeshift into a house cat.
Okay.
That's it. And then I'm just gonna hop up on Wayfo's shoulders and then hop on the lady's lap whenever we get inside.
All right. So you're
The
standing.
form of a house cat.
You're standing at the doorway to this woman's house. How would you like to proceed?
Well, I suppose give Dalar a little scritch behind his ear and knock on the door politely.
After a moment, you hear a voice coming from inside the house. Oh yes, one moment. I'll be right there. You wait and wait. It's about 3 or 4 minutes. You hear someone open the door. And as you expected, a very old lady. Can I help you find gentlemen and lady?
And Waypo will just wave and hand her the card that was on the bulletin.
Oh, I see you got my help wanted sign.
Indeed. And I thought, since we are new here in town, it would be so nice to be able to have someone to talk to. And it seems that you are in need of someone to speak with.
Oh.
I felt that it was a perfect coincidence.
Oh, how wonderful! Come in.
So we shall enter, of course.
Please, make yourself at home. Seat yourself wherever you'd like. Around a very modestly furnished home. A single room home, couple of chairs around, and a bed in the corner. Can I get you anything?
To make room for everybody else, Wayfo will just, take a seat next to the hearth.
Can I get you anything to drink or anything at all?
You wouldn't happen to have tea around by chance, would you?
Tea? I think I got some tea in here.
Listen, well, let me help you prep it, if I might. I'll help her, if not just do it for her. Some water in the kettle and start boiling it.
Yeah, you end up making a cup of tea in parallel with her, except her cup takes about 3 times longer than your cup to make.
Okay.
And she comes over and sits down on the edge of her bed. Dela, are you hopping onto her lap as you said you would?
Of course.
And she's like, "Ah, fuck! I hate cats."
Yeah.
Throws them into the fireplace.
It goes all Monty Python and the Holy Grail and just starts beating them against the wall.
Bring out your dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, her reaction's not quite like that. She looks at the cat and pets it and like, oh, it's been so long since I've seen a cat. The last one I had, I turned into a lovely feline stew. Whiskers was so tasty.
Oh, I bet that was delicious.
It was. Have you had it before?
I have never experienced cat stew before.
Well, if you
And
want
neither,
to,
neither would we like to. It's quite all right.
are you sure? You have such a
Yes,
fine
indeed.
specimen here.
No, this one's more for company than it is for.
Oh, if you insist, well, I'll leave this one alone for now. If you change your mind, though, the offer stands.
Yes, we will let you know
If we happen
should
to
so
catch
choose.
one in one of the alleyways, we'll be certain to bring it over.
Oh, excellent. I don't see too many stray cats around these days anymore.
It's perfectly understandable because of the cold.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, tell me about yourself.
And Wayfo is going to look over at Biltram. Like, yes, tell us about yourself. Because he's just like, there's absolutely nothing to tell about him.
Well, for me personally, I am a student of the magical and alchemical arts. The institute to the south. I'm here on a work, I suppose you could call it, but it's somewhat of a work study. You know, it's kind of like studying abroad. You have to be where the knowledge is at in order to learn. But aside from that, most of our time is seeming to be taken up with a fair amount of traveling, trying to accomplish different tasks here and there. Things move much slower here with all the snow. But overall, I'm a bookworm, so not much interesting with me, of course.
What is it that you study?
So, you are aware of how alchemy works? Chance?
No. What?
Alchemy. The
Is that
mixing
like
of
alcohol at all? I love alcohol.
Gee.
You
I
are in good
suppose-
company, believe it or not.
I suppose it's somewhat similar. You mix together certain things, you age them, you combine them, and get something out the other side that you desire. So, there's some hints of alchemy and alcohol, I suppose. But not quite the same. Not quite. It's just a bit more scientific, I suppose one would say.
Ah, I see.
What about yourself, madam? What has transpired in your life to deposit you here?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to tell you all of the adventures I've been on. Sailed the
Yes.
seas back in my youth. I saw distant lands.
Were you a sailor upon a ship?
I was.
You weren't a
And-
pirate, were you?
Not usually.
Only one suitable, of course, right?
Yeah, Weifo's like totally eating this up. He's just like sitting there, jaw slightly askew. Really?
There was
Have you-
a couple of years where we considered ourselves pirates. It was hard times, but that was a long time ago.
I
How
can
is it-
imagine.
Is it one so seasoned as yourself wound up here in the 10 towns?
Oh, well, when it came time to retire, I too worn out to sail anymore, so I began traveling on land instead to see places further inland. And this is just where I ended up when I was too old to travel anymore.
Aboard what ship did you sail, your youth?
That is an excellent question. Let's see, what was it now?
You sailed on the ship that the GM just made up.
Duh!
Duh.
The short answer is I sailed on many ships. Some of them didn't have names.
Some of them did, some didn't. Just saying.
So, Colin, it's totally good if you want to roll a performance check, and I will accept a certain result, and then we can skip that part of the conversation.
My favorite ship that we sailed on was the Pegasus. It was a fine ship until she sank one day.
What happened to it?
Well, it happened to be when we weren't pirates. We found pirates. They sank us after stealing our cargo.
You had been a pirate previously? Before that event occurred?
It was with a different crew prior to that, yes.
Tell me, how did it feel being on the other side of that?
I guess it was just, repayment for what we did earlier in our lives.
Interesting.
With
I have
that,
to say, I find this fascinating.
I could go on all day about myself, but tell me more about you guys. What about you, little girl?
I don't know if Elena's back yet or not.
So, I don't think it should take 6 minutes to switch over laundry.
I'd hope not.
It's also right
I
across
just
the hall
got
from her
back.
room. Oh my
Hey,
God,
just in
it doesn't
time.
take 6 minutes.
Did you hear what she said to you, Elena?
Then she called me a little girl.
Yeah, she asked, what's your story, basically? And called you a little girl.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not maliciously, of course.
Well, with all due respect, I don't really tell my life story to people I just met.
Oh, snap.
I'm sure you understand.
I don't understand, dearie. We're all over here sharing our stories. I've shared my story. Why don't you share your story?
I just told you why.
You don't have to consider me a stranger.
I literally met you 5 minutes ago.
Oh, it's been more like a half hour, maybe an hour at this point.
Still.
Man, Tora's just like straight up like gangsta cold. She's like, nah, bitch, you just keep talking. I ain't saying shit.
That's okay. I'm sure the Frostmaiden will give you your due. She glares at you.
I glare back.
I stare until it stares back.
Waitho is just bouncing between the two of them like a ping pong match.
Are you people
He's
hungry
in-
at all?
I never
he's-
require sustenance, but I would love to know what it is that you know about the Frostmaiden.
Rolling insight just to see if I can tell if she's about to like cast a hex on us or some shit.
It doesn't appear that she's about to put a hex on you.
Jack.
I don't know much about the Frost Maiden, just that she seems to be in control up here. He goes over and picks up Dalar. Let's get some food going. She begins slowly
Taylor, maybe,
walking over to Oh,
yeah, maybe.
come back here. And she slowly walks towards Dalar.
Hold on. I have an idea. Hold on, let me see what I can turn into. Where's the link? Where's that link to turn? Where was that link? Wait, I need to scroll back to her message. I'm gonna see if I can turn into a bigger cat. Hang on.
Meow.
So have you seen Cats Don't Dance? Let's see. What's a bigger looking cat that I could turn into here? Found the link.
Maybe a lynx?
I don't know. I can't.
A ferret.
I'll turn into a snow leopard. How about that?
All right.
Casually turn in from a house cat to a snow leopard. And then go and just lay down on the floor after she presumably drops me.
She drops you, steps back a moment, adjusts her glasses. Where'd the little cat go? Don't have a big enough pot for this one.
Well, you see, the cat's not quite a cat. It's a friend of ours who has some particular abilities that allow him to be different things.
I'll go get my cutting board.
He really
we'll get
likes
this soup
drinking.
made one way or the other.
Are you
sure?
hungry, madam?
You
Do you
would
have
be-
food?
Chopping up a great drinking partner.
Yes, we'll make great drinking partners when we eat this meal. I'm sure of it.
No, I actually meant the cat.
What you give your cats alcohol?
This one practically lives on it.
Yeah.
So strange.
He's not himself without it, honestly.
Well, I always did like to use a little bit of alcohol in my cooking. I guess this one just comes pre-marinated.
Well, he hasn't had any in a while. It would probably be a wise idea for us to give him some.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. She sets out a small bowl and pours something from a unmarked bottle into it.
Oh, shit. It's the good stuff. It's that no label stuff, man.
As I see her pouring it, I'm gonna turn back into my regular form and then pick up the bowl off the floor. Start drinking it. I love alcohol. Thank you.
She jumps back so hard that she falls over when that happens. Oh, dear
I'm
me.
sorry I scared you. Are you okay?
Oh dear. Oh no.
Are you drinking the entirety of this bowl that she had poured for you?
Does it taste like alcohol?
It does.
Yes.
Drink it, drink it.
I need a Constitution save with disadvantage.
Oh boy.
You start swaying pretty heavily in your seat and then eventually fall over, passed out minutes after drinking it.
Wait a second. Fucking are just passed out.
Yeah.
And the old lady is fine, or is she like fucked up?
I'm sure she's fine.
You follow her pretty hard, or is she okay?
She is okay. I mean, no broken bones or anything. Maybe some bruising and such. Takes her about 3 minutes to get back up.
Jesus Christ. Well, I'll help her up. I'll help
Wayfo
her
will definitely go
to
over
her
to help
feet.
her.
Yeah. And while Wayfo's helping her, I'm gonna go see if I can't tell with this awful medicine check if they are unconscious because the alcohol is just that strong, or if like there's something else going on.
It smells like dwarven spirits, but perhaps the strongest
the good
dwarven
shit.
spirits that you've ever smelled.
So she was trying to kill the cat, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, with happiness and kindness, I guess.
I mean, she basically poured flavored Everclear into that bowl.
Excellent.
No wonder he drank that shit down.
Yeah, I was about to say that's good. That's pure alcohol. That's enough to kill him, man. I'm happy to drink that.
And Wayfo will offer to share one of his rations with the elderly lady since she seems to be so hungry.
Oh, thank you. This will save me. This will tide me over until I can find that cat again.
Yes, indeed.
Wayfo gives her an extra ration, just in case she doesn't spot him right away.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll a performance check and see if I can entertain the old lady by showing her through my alchemist's kit, and see if that will entertain her long enough and deeply enough to satisfy her loneliness, I guess.
It does seem to gather her attention for as long as you're doing it. It's pretty easy to
Baffle and
I was going to
astound.
say,
yeah.
and Wayfo is happy to engage her in history or religion if she shows any interest in either.
How many hours would this add up to then?
Well, you just pulled out your Pokemon, so we'll be leaving in the middle of the night.
onto something. You're about to say something,
At
Paul?
this point, it's been probably about 2 hours since you've been here.
They are still unconscious.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude sleeping soundly after drinking an entire bowl of strong dwarven spirits. Hell yeah. Like, just
Wait.
periodically put a mirror up to his nose to make sure he's still
breathing,
alive.
yeah. Wait, why don't you count for the madam here? Some of what you remember of your past, I suppose, just before, I guess, meeting us here in the 10 towns, and then maybe we be on our way for the evening.
Well, there's really not much to say. For approximately the past 2,000 years, I was a training dummy at the monastery.
Then you can perhaps share some tales of the monastery, or some of the people maybe you remember from there.
Well, I suppose I could talk about some of the history that I learned.
That would be quite interesting, actually, yes.
And so Weifo launches into a very entertaining but deeply detailed history of some of the more famous battles of Waterdeep.
All right. Yeah. Excellent recollection and presentation of them as well. She seems enthralled by them and even happens to remember where she was, wherever it was, when a few of them happened.
Perfect. Yeah, unless anybody shuts Weifo up, he's more than happy just to continue to prattle on.
At this point,
I'm
Daylar
still
probably...
unconscious, aren't I? Am I conscious again?
Yeah, at this point, as Wafo's rambling on, you begin to wake up again. Very,
How bad is the
very
hangover?
hungover. Like, the worst you've ever felt.
God. Oh God! What happened?
You drank my private reserves.
You handed me a bowl of alcohol. I was supposed to drink it, wasn't I?
I gave it to the cat wherever it went. It wasn't meant for you, dear.
But you handed it to me. You put it right in front of me.
I put it in front of the cat. I have no idea where you came from. Who are you, anyway?
I'm the
He is a
cat.
friend of us.
What's your name, cat?
Sure.
That's awesome.
Where do you come from?
You know, here, there, a little bit of there. Come from around.
Want to turn back into that cat so I can cook you?
Do I look like a cat?
Apparently you did earlier. Bet you taste like one too.
Early. What if I turn back into this while you were cooking me? That wouldn't be too tasty. Unless you're a cannibal, in which case it might still be tasty.
I've not tried Furbolg before, but I wouldn't be opposed to trying. I'm still adventurous at my age.
I'm sure
Damn,
you are.
we can leave you two alone for that.
You know, I'm not looking to be eaten today, but I'll remember the offer.
If you change your mind,
You know what? If somebody kills me, I'll make sure they bring my dead body back here so you can eat me. How about that?
that sounds like a deal.
I'll put up my hand to shake it. Sounds good to me.
It takes her 15 seconds to raise her hand high enough to shake it, but she shakes your hand.
All right, I'll make sure whenever I die that my killers bring me back.
Or one of us will.
Or one of them.
Assuming that he doesn't go completely missing whenever he dies, we indeed will be happy to bring him back for you.
Oh, most excellent. I can't wait.
Well, the day has pressed on indeed. I would say that we might have some other engagements to take care of in and around the town today. Is that correct?
Oh yes, of course. We must be getting to our other businesses.
Anything else anyone would like to speak with the fair lady about?
No.
Are you
Have a good
sure,
day, madame.
little girl, you don't want to tell me about yourself?
I'm good.
She begins muttering something quietly to herself as she walks away from Tora. And then after a few moments, she's like, well, I guess thank you all, except for you, little girl, for coming by. It was a pleasure talking to those of you who were a pleasure to talk to.
It's a very nice visit. Have a good day.
You're welcome back anytime.
Pleasure indeed.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Except you, little girl. You're not welcome back here. You need to learn some manners.
Hey, I don't want to come back, old lady.
Can I at least get your name?
Aura.
Mora?
Yeah.
Alright, Mora. You better not come back here.
I better not see more of you.
Yeah, I got her.
I was waiting for her to be like, yeah, my last name's you, first name's fuck.
And she leans over to Dalar as he's leaving. You should find better friends. That little girl's not very nice.
It's okay. She doesn't talk too much. I'll wave as I walk away.
And she closes the door behind you guys as you leave.
Well, that was an interesting visit.
Wayfo is going to ask Tora about her reaction there.
What? I'm like that with everyone.
She is right.
You were never like that with me.
Mm. Not that you know of.
Maybe she just beat it out of you back when you were a training dummy.
I
I
certainly
remember
don't
most
know
of our
much
training
about
sessions. She wasn't particularly violent against me, but well skilled. Always an excellent student.
Well then, what shall we do next? I don't think there's anything else on our list to do. Was there today?
Not for today, no. As far as Waypo's concerned, he wants to make sure you guys get a restful sleep. Maybe check the board to see if there's anything else for this town, and if not, move on to another town and help more people.
Move on to the next town.
Waypo feels like that's the reason he's here.
Ah.
Well, I can't necessarily say that I am opposed to helping people around certain towns. It's all right with me. I can't see why it would hurt.
It does seem to get rather expensive, at least.
That is very true.
Indeed, so I suppose it's a good thing we have quite a bit of money right now.
Yes.
And that we monks are used to living in poverty.
Alright, so as you guys begin making your way back across town. Can I
Keeping
get
an eye out for cats.
no cats, but can I get a perception check from everybody? As the group of you are trudging through town, snow crunching underneath your feet, you all hear the sound of a dog barking over the whistle of the wind. A few moments later, you actually see a wolf-sized sled dog, light gray fur, running towards you, dragging a broken leather harness behind it.
Keep it.
They keep it? You said you
Yeah.
want to keep it at auction?
Yes.
They lead the way, Tora. You work with the dog as much as you want.
Oh my gosh.
It straight up tackles Tora and begins licking her face.
See that?
Do you know this animal?
No.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
It lets you up after a moment and then begins tugging at your clothes and boots as if it wants you to follow it.
I think it wants us to follow
What makes you say that?
Indeed, and we
because
should.
it's tugging at my my boots.
Weird thing
I'm
to
gonna
tug
follow.
on, but follow it.
Alright, you guys follow it,
Oh my
winding,
god, it's zigzagging all over the place.
winding
Holy
through
shit, it's
town.
drunk.
To the front door of a modest dwelling where the dog begins barking and scratching at the door.
What
this
is
your
it,
home?
Lassie? Is Timmy in the well again?
A few moments later, a handsome man in his 30s opens the door, and the dog races inside.
Oh,
The man, before seeing who you are, is like, "It's about time you got home." "You're not my husband. Who are you?"
found your dog.
"I see that. And he wasn't accompanied by anyone?"
Nope, he was running away by himself.
Rather panicked.
And then he
Is
sees
something wrong?
the harness broken. His expression, his smile fades, and I just think something is very wrong. Come inside if you like.
Yeah, we quickly get in so that we can understand the situation here, because Wayfo is already having a very bad feeling that somebody is out in this cold weather and may need our help.
Perhaps.
So the man introduces himself as Keegan Velrin. I'll paste this here in the chat for you so you can know how it is spelled. He goes on to explain that I was born in Tin Towns. My husband came from a wealthy family in Neverwinter. Garrett didn't care for city life. So when I met him, he was working as a guide. He loves the outdoors and he loves to climb mountains. A few days ago, Garrett was hired by some adventurers to lead them up the slopes of Kelvin's Cairn. Garrett's plan was to take the adventurers to Cair Konig, the town at the foot of Kelvin's Cairn, and after they acquired some climbing gear from the outfitter there, he was to lead them up the mountain. He took 6 dogs and a sled with him. Boy here, he says, pointing to the dog, was Garrett's favorite. He raised him from a pup. The boy would never leave Garrett's side unless something terrible had happened.
Perhaps we should check the dog for wounds.
I'll take a quick look at him.
What's the husband's name again?
Garrett. Of the same last name.
What was the name of the cairn that they were going to go find?
Yes, Kelvin's Cairn. Which is near, with the town at the base of it was Cair Konig. One of the 10 towns, I believe. Yes.
Okay.
The dog seems to be healthy and in good order.
Don't worry, the dog's fine. Just a little spooked from whatever happened.
Yes, good to know.
So when should your husband been returning?
I mean, I wouldn't have expected him. Well, I think I was expecting him any day now. Sometimes, depending on weather, things get pushed a day or two out. But he was expected home as early as yesterday, and it wouldn't have been unusual to see him today or tomorrow.
So the question is, did something happen at the cairn, or did something just happen on the road on the way back? He could have been traveling back at this point, then.
I suppose either is possible.
We'd have to, let's see, how far? You said the cairn is near Cair Konig. How far of a travel is it to there?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's pretty far away. That's a good distance further than East Haven. Duganshole, even.
Yeah, so... So... that right there is Kelvin's Cairn,
Okay.
with Cair Konig being where they set out from. If you're sticking to trails and roads, Cair Konig is 14.5 hours on foot.
Almost 20 miles by trails.
It was basically just a full day's travel to get to there. But you can't do it.
And it's about 26 miles if you stick to the... no, 29 miles if you stick to the trails.
Do you think that we should be planning on leaving this evening in the dark, or do you think that we should be waiting until the morning? I'd hate to take too long and the dog forget exactly where it came from. I don't know if it would forget or not, but
We'll need to get a dog sled and be able to use that dog as the lead.
it would seem most logical, yes. If only we had the sled that we already bought.
Isn't that just over in Bryn Shander?
It is.
Too far for us
Well-
to waste time on that.
It's on the way though, isn't it?
No.
Oh, unless we're planning to go to Terramalaine and go right there.
We should get the sled here, as well as a team that will work with this dog.
That's what you're getting at.
And that will probably take most of this evening. I can get that done while you all rest.
That'd probably be a good idea. That way I think we want to wait for the morning to leave anyway. In case he's just off the path, but we can't see him from the dark. Won't do us too good.
Heavily is it snowing outside, or is it snowing?
It's probably lightly snowing right now.
Been years since it stopped snowing.
Would seem somewhat of a risk, though, that if we left too late, we might end up losing tracks in the snow, buried.
The dog will not lose the tracks. It uses senses that we cannot use.
You say that, but one of us can turn into a fucking cat, so, I mean...
There is that. And with all seriousness, he looks over at Dalar. Would you be willing to be part of the pack?
I don't see why not. We're gonna turn into a wolf.
Can also
Mm,
summon
back.
familiars to search from the air when we go, if need be.
As long as they can keep up, it'd probably be helpful to have an extra eye.
A raven, indeed, I would figure, could outpace us by instead, indeed.
Hold up. I believe that in this environment, a snowy owl would do much better.
Indeed, an owl is one to be found as well. I can summon a hawk or some other sort of flying animal, but an owl would probably be just as fortuitous as a hawk. Nevertheless, we should find him out and a team to pull and in the process if we're going to figure out what has happened.
Yeah, Weifo is just going to be like, this is a purpose. It's like all hands on deck. We have a purpose. and so Weifo is just going to be like looking over at the guy going, don't worry, we will do our very best to find your husband. And looking at the others, I'll be back. And takes off out into the town, finding the first light on and knocking and wanting to find out who has sleds and dog teams for sale/rent.
Wonder why he didn't just ask Keegan about that.
Weifo is wise. He's not necessarily smart.
I just was about the Belgium. Belgium was like, I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll find something. He'll
Probably.
wake up the whole town if he has to.
Oh, I'm sure that he will.
Quite
Have we-
literally, he will if he has
We've
to.
left Keegan's then.
Well, if you want to have left it, it's up to you
I think
guys.
the rest of us are here still.
I was just gonna ask if Keegan knows the people that his husband was taking up there guiding.
Unfortunately, I don't know. I didn't meet the adventurers who hired him. Don't know how many there are, and or who they are for that matter.
Guys, I'm getting another work call. Sorry, hold on.
No
Back in a minute.
worries.
You can continue.
So we'll jump over to Wei Fo for a minute, who's running around town trying to find sled and dogs. Let's see what Targus has to offer. So after a quick search around town, Wei Fo, you find out that the only person with a sled available is the general store, but unfortunately it's a small one-person sled, much smaller than the one that you had previously purchased and stored back in Bryn Shander.
Perfect. May I borrow that?
We don't usually loan out items. I mean, you can buy it and then, if it doesn't suit your fancy, return it later.
Wayfo pulls off his prayer beads from around his neck. You may hold on to these until I return.
Are these valuable?
To me, they are priceless.
Maybe to you, but what am I supposed to do? If you don't return the sled, am I supposed to just sell these?
I will return.
If you say so.
A man's life is in danger.
Yeah, it's not unusual up here. But on, be on with the sled.
Thank you. And Wayfo's just gonna straight up use it to go straight over to Burn Shander, get our fucking sled, and bring it back.
Hey, it works.
It's a short run. He can do it overnight. Then he can meditate in the morning while they're doing the mushing.
Yeah.
Just let me know if there's any problems when he gets to Burn Shander about getting the sled.
You'll need to acquire more dogs over there, as just Boy is not able to pull this larger sled alone.
Of course. Yeah, we'll need a full team minus Boyd.
Alright, let's see. Find the price on that. Um. So you go over, middle of the night, knock on the dog breeder's door. A very groggy dog breeder eventually answers it. Don't you know what time it is?
Indeed. It is already way past the time for me to be heading out in search of a man. And possibly his corpse at this point.
And you're wanting dogs to do that, I presume?
Indeed. I have this one here who will lead, but I need other dogs that are experienced and will follow.
Alright. I normally sell them for 50 a piece, but being such a late night rush selection, have to charge a little surplus on there. He goes back and selects 4 dogs to fit your sled in addition to boy. Alright, 4 extra dogs plus extra fee. That'll come out to 220 gold pieces.
Are these your best?
As good as they come.
Wayfo will give the man 25 platinum.
Appreciate the tip.
If you have anything else that may assist us on the journey, please feel free to load up the sled.
For that extra, I suppose I'll toss in some dog food for you. He loads up your sled's cargo racks with some dog food and other general provisions.
Wayfo thanks him profusely, explains the situation, and tells him we really have no idea what it is that we may be running into. So anything that someone experienced like himself might consider to be invaluable for the trip would probably help. So basically, Wayfo's like, hey, all-weather emergency gear, throw that shit on there, please.
I don't have much in order to that.
And Wayfo, without even haggling or anything, tosses him another platinum and says, "Are you sure?"
I mean, if you want my personal cloak and coats, I can give you those, but I just sell dogs and dog food.
Anything that will help. Basically, Waypo's like, anything that will help, anybody that you know who has stuff that will help, I don't care.
Let me see what I've got.
Thank you.
I suppose I've got some old climbing gear I don't use too much anymore these days. Not only enough for one person, but you're welcome to have it.
Thank you. It can be of great use. Your service is much appreciated, and I apologize for the lateness of the hour.
That's fine, I suppose. Appreciate your business.
Wayfo will give him a deep bow. If we are ever in need of dogs, you will be the first person that we speak to. And he will take off, and basically Wayfo is going to try to kind of get an understanding of the dogs as he's going from Bernshander over to Targos.
Mm-hmm.
So more or less giving them their lead, and just kind of giving them persuasion to, stick to the trail,
Mm-hmm.
keep the speed going, that kind of thing.
Right. So yeah, you before long arrive back in Targos. Not quite dawn yet, but very early morning hours at this point.
Okay. So checking over at the gentleman's place first for companions. If not there, heading over to the inn.
Yep. You do find them over at the inn.
Okay.
Keegan had uh, set up and arranged rooms for them over there for the night.
Okay. Just as the first rays are coming through, Wayfo will be knocking on doors, getting them up. And the innkeeper, if they're not already up, to get breakfast ready for them to get the hell out. Like, get it to go. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
And you find the innkeepers rushing around like madmen to get breakfast, which wasn't supposed to be ready for another hour. But
Your efforts are much appreciated.
they do eventually get it together and get some packaged up to go for you.
And once everything is all set up and organized, and my friends know where the sled is, etc., Wayfo is going out there and sitting there in the front section of the sled, right behind the dogs, and going into his meditative stance.
All right.
He's shutting down.
And the off switch for a bit.
Yup.
So Wayfro hits hibernate. That means the other three of you get to determine the route and control the dogs on the way.
So, looking at the map, it would seem that probably the quickest route would be to go through Tourmaline, excuse me, and trek across the wilderness across to Kelvin's Cairn, wouldn't you think?
If our goal is to go directly there, then yes.
I suppose the real question is whether or not this dog would have come all the way back from there, if that's where whatever issues arose. But somewhere along the way, then we are essentially testing our luck in that we are taking the same path that they took on the way out.
Exactly. I would assume that they probably took the regular road from Carriconig back home, or he would. So if something happened on the route back rather than like the cairn, then likely would have had it happen on the road there. However, I would say it's best to see which way the dog goes first. If the dog were to go to the Tourmaline straight there, then likely he's still at the cairn. Suppose we'll see what the which way the dog wants to go.
Outside of character, smart thinking, Abe Lincoln.
Your animal handling skill?
Mine's pretty good. It's +5.
See if you can coerce the dog into leading the group the right way.
Hang on.
It doesn't really matter. I feel like...
The dog's considered a beast, right?
Yes. I feel like heading up towards Tourmaline is the more logical path anyhow.
They're more likely at the cairn?
because
assume.
you can branch off right here from the trail and follow these ravines, which would take you through probably less worn but still visible pathways. It looks like there is only one major pathway going up to Kelvin's Cairn, and if the
It seems
dog
like
if the dog desires to head this way, however, then that means it probably happened on the way towards Kelvin Cairn or on the way back, and the dog just decided to head home, knowing that that's the natural route to take. But most likely, my guess is we'll find the person somewhere between here and here. So head it towards Tourmaline would probably be the most logical, and then probably break off the trail right about here and head out onto the less used trails going out into backcountry.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Still gonna cast this. Oh.
Ooh.
Definitely have.
Oh, well, shit, son.
I'm just gonna ask the dog
that's
straight
it.
up.
Yeah. Yo, dog. Where the fuck's your owner at?
what has happened? Tell us what has transpired.
You're like,
Welcome back.
so, when you ran home last night, which way was Garrett? Which way was your master?
I left him on Kelvin's Cairn, but I came back through Cair Konig and Cair Dinavel. The route that we usually go. I went that way because it was familiar. But
you
he's
said
on
he was at the
Kelvin's
cairn?
Cairn. Yes. He is on
Alright,
the Cairn.
We're gonna go a faster way. Once we get to the cairn, can you show me exactly where he is?
I will do my best.
All right, that's all we can ask of you. Let's go. I'll relay that to everybody else. Hey, the dog says that Garrett's at the cairn. He'll do his best when we get there to find him.
This dog
Let's go.
has the answers. Let's go.
All right, so you're going across the wilderness, through the valley, directly to the cairn.
Through the valley of the shadow of death, because I fear no evil.
Because I am the baddest son of a bitch in the valley.
I am the one
can
who
talk to
knocks.
dogs. Yeah.
That's why I fear no evil. I am the evil.
Exactly.
After drinking
I
all
do
that,
fear myself, though.
the
I
liquor.
mean, a wise man would.
I know what I'm capable of.
The greatest evil is within each and every one of us, so the one person that we should fear the most is ourselves.
I know what I'm willing to do. It scares me.
I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Carry
All
on,
right.
my wayward son.
There will be peace when we are done.
Don't you
Now, if
Put
you
cry
your
don't
weary
mind-
head to rest.
That's precisely
Don't
what
you
I'm
cry.
planning to do.
no more.
Don't you cry. No more.
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's been too long since I was on. Couldn't remember lyrics.
I don't know why, but I've had a lot of events recently where someone's been like playing music by Kansas just randomly. I don't know why.
It's funny. That's just
Happened
what's
a lot
on.
recently. That's just one song, but they've got actually a lot of good songs for.
Yeah, they got several fun songs. It's just that's the most popular one. Most
Yeah,
known
pretty much.
one.
All right,
Yeah,
so you
so
guys.
That and Dust in the Wind. I mean,
Yeah, Dustin one's
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
damn popular.
That's another one up there too.
Can someone roll me a D8, please?
yes, yes.
I want to do it. I'm feeling frisky. Boy, it's boring.
Yeah, what the hell, you loser?
I wanted a 1 or an 8.
All right, Brandon, can you
I got
also
him a
roll
failure.
me a D20?
Oh,
Nah.
that's worse, bro. No.
That's just boring rolls. They're right down the middle. It's just not even a feast or famine. It's just boring. The panda is too depressed to have sex. The zoo will try again tomorrow.
Don't feel bad. Mine were just about as boring.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
good.
The D20 is a little closer to being something exciting, but
Right? Right,
The
but
D8
that
is right
D8
there.
was just
So
like
they're 4. Just right in the
4,
middle.
whatever.
You're just a...
We don't know who this guy is really, so it's important, but we're also like, man, it doesn't have that flair of the personal.
Turns out this guy's an absolute douchebag, and we're just saving him.
Yeah, he's abusive.
His husband at home's like a nice guy, but this guy's just a fucking abuser.
Yeah, and it's a complete asshole. Yeah,
Straight up an abusive relationship. We're just saving him.
it's like known around Targos as like the dickhead of the community.
He is the drunk.
We get here, like we find him, he's like wounded.
He is the danger. He is the one who knocks.
Yeah.
You have to put him down.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we go out there and we find him. He's in like some little mobile home out there, and he's like, "Damn it, Jesse, we've got to cook."
Unbeknownst to you, you're speaking your final words.
Yeah.
All right. I get one more dice roll, a D6 from somebody.
God, that was fast.
All right.
All right. So, approaching midnight, as you approach the base of the mountain, you guys see a small group of dwarves trekking through the snow. About 100 yards off at this point.
Hi ho! No,
Is it
that's
off to
probably
work
not.
they go?
That's probably not how we want to greet them.
No.
Like, yeah, no, good.
Wayfo will excitedly request the others to head towards them.
Yes, we should go see what the business is in this area. Indeed.
Alright, so you guys trek over in their direction, closing on them rather quickly. They're just on foot. They stop their marching as you approach.
And Wayfo will call out a slightly formal greeting in common, since he does not know Elvish. Greeting the Masters of Metals. Which hopefully will get their attention with a Warforged greeting them like that.
I will try another greeting in Gnomish and see if they speak Gnome.
I'll bark at them. I was still one of the snow dogs, wasn't I?
If you wanted to be.
I think that was the plan. I don't know if I ended up needing to be or not.
You didn't need to be. You could be if you wanted to.
Yeah, why not? I'm still a snow dog, so I'm just gonna bark at them. If somebody asks me to turn back and talk, I will. But I'm still just like a wolf running. I'm just like a wolf mixing with the dogs. A snow wolf or whatever.
I can see it now. Greetings, Masters of Metals.
Right out of Magica.
They respond in common. Greetings. Is your name and your business?
I am Wayfo. We are in search of someone who may be injured or possibly dead on Kelvin's Cairn. And give a description.
They turn and look up the mountain and haven't seen anybody of that description, but we've not been up on the cairn recently.
Are these your lands?
Not quite, but they're nearby. I suppose we may extend our territory to this area every now and then.
In that case, we humbly request your permission to gain access so that we may seek for the survivor.
You know what I didn't think to ask? So, I'm sorry, just kind of an out of game pause here. Why the fuck didn't we ask the dog what happened?
Because Wayfo was meditating.
I have an intelligence of 10. What do you expect out of me?
I mean, he literally was like, "Oh yeah, I can take you exactly to where they're at. I totally, I can also justify why I took a different route back through the 10 towns to get here." But we didn't think to go, "Damn, what happened? What happened to your owner? Was he attacked?" Just nod yes or not for yes, or shake your head for no. What the fuck's wrong with us?
In all fairness, I was going to suggest that, but I was also, Wayfo was in meditative stance, so I didn't feel that it was fair that he could just interrupt that just to talk.
Yeah, no, you're good. I don't know why I didn't think about it until just now. I was like, damn, we're not getting any answers. We're not getting the information we want. Well, shit, why not? Anyway, yeah, we can go ahead and continue this conversation. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, I guess.
I
I'll figure it out whenever we get there.
They call out to you. Who is it that you seek on the mount?
Wayfo will give all that pertinent information.
Suppose that's fine. Get up there, find him, and get out as soon as you can.
You have our thanks.
And don't cause any trouble that doesn't need to be caused.
When you say get out as soon as you can, why?
It's a dangerous place for folks such as yourself. Wouldn't want you to become stranded up there yourselves.
Indeed. Well.
And Wayfo is going to look at them and say, and if we run into any trouble that needs to be, we should settle it there and then, quickly. Yes?
I mean, if it needs dealt with, it needs dealt with.
Aye. We are in an understanding.
Before we part, might I ask from where Lot hails?
They look at each other and then back to you. Maybe that's not so pertinent to your current goals.
Well, I suppose not. So I was just thinking ahead, in case we needed a hand. Or you needed a hand. I don't know. But, very well. I suppose if there'll be, aid, then haste should be of the utmost importance.
Work.
Wayfo gives Dalar some scritches. Alright, let's go.
Happy bark.
And speaking of going, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get something to drink.
Oh, all right.
Personally, I have to get off for tonight. I got some stuff I got to get ready for work tomorrow. So I've got to get going and take care of that. For you to continue without me, I will be lending a hand however I can. Biltram will probably just be hanging out on the sled until
Until things happen.
I gotta cast magic missile a couple times.
Magic missile.
Well, I'm thinking this might be the good place to...
Just right before we go to Karen.
Yeah, you guys... You know, I'll say you arrive at the bottom of the mountain. You see two pitched tents in the snow near an icy outcropping, acting as natural windbreaker. Between the tents is an overturned sled, and still harnessed to the sled are 5 howling dogs. We'll leave it there for the week.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for DMing. I appreciate it.
Yeah. You said you're out of town next week?
I'll be on a trip next week, so next Sunday I will be unavailable.
Right. I think Elena has work
No one
next
knows.
week. Scott's either out of town or in town, depending on how you look at it, so...
He'll be out of town in your town.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably just not plan on playing next week and then pick it up.
Oh, you don't want to do a one-on-one event in Cairn where I just go out and die?
Well, I mean, you just
Another one of
described
my-
the entirety of that session right there.
Come on, you know my one-on-one adventures always go fantastic whenever I go solo.
They sure
Mhm.
seem to.
They always become very memorable. Very memorable.
Kevin.
That means we should all be back in 2 weeks, and we'll pick it up there.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
Yeah, have
Take
a
it
good
easy.
one.
Bye.
Enjoy your trip.
Yeah.
Bye.